When I get angry, I don't like who I become.
Listen to me, son. There are no accidents. You want to tell this story? You need to tell this story.
You look at me differently.
I promise you, I will not look at you differently. What happened?
Holy shit.
It's me. Let's talk about... Written, directed, produced by, and starring Bill Hader. Barry tells the story of ex-Marine turned hitman for hire, Barry Berkman. After being discharged from the army for losing his temper, and killing a man that he believed to have shot his friend in the jaw, Barry is left depressed, lonely, and just with a general disdain for his life. He turns to a man that he's known since he was young, Monroe Fuches. Fuches? Whatever you want to say. I don't know. He was a family friend of Barry's father when Barry was young, and he took quite a liking to Barry, it seemed, because he pretty much mentored him when he was younger. One thing you should know about Barry is that when he was in the Marines, he was known to be one of the most skilled shots there. He could shoot people hundreds of meters away without even thinking about it, easily get the shot, and then line up another one 2 minutes later. So he gets out of the military, right? Fuchs wants to hone in on these skills that Barry possesses and use them to their full potential. So he talked to Barry, and he began contracting him as a hitman to anyone that'll pay. For a small fee, Barry will go in and, deal with whoever you want, as long as you pay, no questions asked. So this leads us to the bulk of where Barry's life begins to change. He's contracted by the Chechen mafia to assassinate a man named Ryan Madison. He's been sleeping with the mob boss Goran's wife, so he's got to go. By the way, side note, the man who contacts Barry and hires him for this job, best character in the show. I'll talk more about it later, but best character in the show.
So we're gonna do this outside if that's okay. His daughter has some friends over, huh? They're watching their Jessie.
Why? Did the bowling alley run out of shoe freshener?
So Barry agrees to the assignment, and he's told he has to travel to Hollywood. When he gets there, he finds Ryan pretty much immediately, and he trails him to this building, where he follows him in, and he discovers that it's an acting class in session. They're practicing, rehearsing their little scenes that they've got going.
What's wrong? Suck my dick. That's what's wrong.
And what do you know, Ryan, keep in mind that this is the man that Barry was just paid a large sum of money to murder, walks up to Barry and asks him to help him with his scene because his scene partner was gone. So he does it. He gets in front of the stage and he performs. He's just reading off this script, and he does a horrible job. Absolutely terrible.
Now, I know I'm pretty, but I ain't as pretty as a couple of titties.
What's in that envelope is for my peace of mind. My peace of mind is worth that much, not 1 penny more, not 1 penny more.
But the whole audience, the whole audience of like a few people in the class stand up, and they give him like a standing ovation. And Barry is thrilled. You can see like a little spark light up in his eyes. He just found a new passion in life. He suddenly found something that he really enjoys, that he thinks he's really good at. And then he becomes friends with Ryan, the man he's supposed to murder. This one event leads to basically the plot of the entire show, so I'll try not to spoil too much more for you. This is pretty much just the first episode that I'm dishing out to you, but these are like the types of dilemmas that Barry is put in throughout the course of the show. It's pretty funny. This show was nominated for over 40 Emmys, and already gets quite a bit of praise as is, but I still think it's a bit underrated. The first time I ever saw anything of this show, it was a TikTok of this clip.
So that's it. That's it. Okay, that's it. I'm going to the cops, and I'm gonna tell them everything. And if I gotta do some time, fine. But I'm coming clean.
Why did you say that?
I won't play any more because it's an absolutely huge spoiler if you haven't seen the show. But if you've seen the show, you know what I'm talking about. You know what that clip is. So I went into this show thinking that it was going to be a really serious, gritty show. So I was very surprised when the show was able to make me genuinely, like, belly laugh within the first, like, 10 minutes of the show. It's pretty funny. The show's writing has a lot more depth to it than you would think, just on the surface of it. There's, like, a few moments where I'm genuinely there, and I'm like, how could he possibly escape this? How could he possibly get out of this situation that he's just been put into? And then they end up getting him out of it, obviously, but it's in the, it's always in the craziest, most, like, random way possible, and it's normally pretty funny. There's a twist that I'm, like, specifically thinking, and it genuinely got me when I was watching it the first time. It was pretty good. It was funny. It made no sense. It was absolutely so stupid. But it was funny, and I think that's, like, some of the beauty in the show. Another thing that I really appreciated was just the show's attention to really small details. These aren't things that I really would have recognized otherwise, but upon reading some of the comments on, like, TikToks, and also I found this Reddit post by this guy who actually served in the military, and the thread was basically about the way that the show depicts being in the military. He says that the show's depictions were, like, pretty accurate, not only to, like, what life is like when you get out of the military, but also just what life is like within the military and how you're treated by your fellow troops. There's a specific part in the show where Barry shoots multiple people from hundreds of meters away, and he gets praised by his fellow Marines.
Motherfucker, what? Oh, you fucking kidding me? He got him.
Both of them?
Smoke both those pieces of shit. Dude, this silent ass Barry here's a fucking stone cold killer, fellas, from 700 yards.
Jesus,
oh my God.
Fucking
what are you doing? I was gonna take the bib off, but forget it.
Barry Berkman!
Barry.
Barry Berkman!
Barry.
Barry Berkman!
Barry.
And he feels great about himself. You know, he just murdered 2 people, though. He killed 2 people. But he feels great. You know, it's a different mindset that he's in. And this dude on Reddit said that that's actually really accurate. So I like that. And just the way that they handle, like, the weapons in the show. I'm pretty sure that Bill Hader, correct me if I'm wrong, I might be wrong on this, but I think that he was trained by people in the military or something on how they handle the weapons, just to make it look more accurate, like he was actually ex-military, which I think is just awesome if that's true, that if he actually puts that much effort in, I appreciate that quite a bit. This show has a lot of characters in it, but to save time and spoilers, we'll just talk about the main dudes. Mr. Cousineau, Sally, NoHo Hank, best character in the show, Fuches, however these fucking say it, and obviously Barry Berkman. Now, I've loved Henry Winkler since I was, you know, like a kid. I remember watching the movie Waterboy, the Adam Sandler movie Waterboy with him in it.
Once the quarterback has the ball, he fakes to the left. No, he fakes to the right. He doesn't fake. He thinks about faking. He pretends to fake. I don't know where I am.
I absolutely loved it. I know that he was famous way before that movie for being the Fonz and all that.
Hey, yeah.
But, like, I didn't watch that. I didn't actually know of that character. I think the only reason I know of the Fonz is because of Family Guy.
Hey, yo, Griffin! The Fonz! Hey!
I'm 22, okay? I'm not that old. So I kind of knew he was going to be great on the show, and he is. I mean, he's honestly one of the best characters on the show. He's one of the main dudes, obviously, but he's one of the best characters every time he's on the screen. He steals the show. It's great. He seems like an absolute sweetheart of a man in person, and I would like to meet him. That'd be great. Sally is all right. She's pretty annoying.
Shit. I lost my place. Damn it. He's ready for you. Shit! Thanks a lot.
I think I may be a bit biased in this regard because she reminds me of someone that I used to know. So it makes it kind of easy for me to not like her. She honestly feels like the most realistic character in the show, I would say. Like, just the most grounded. Because, like, even though she doesn't actually do anything like that horrific throughout the show, she manages to be a terrible person anyway, just in her own kind of way. She's really narcissistic. You know, she looks out for herself. She's a lot like Barry. They're perfect for each other, honestly. But either way, the actress that plays her, Sarah Goldberg, I think her name is. She does great. She's great at actually portraying the character. I can't knock her for it. Fuches, he's a character. He's an interesting one, I guess. I never really liked him throughout the show. He had some funny moments, but for the most part, I found him kind of annoying. I wasn't a huge fan of the way they wrote him. He's a character that's, like, clearly only out for himself. He makes that, like, incredibly apparent through, spoilers for anyone. Spoilers. Click away. Spoilers if you're gonna... if you care. I mean, I guess these aren't really even spoilers, but it's just like, he rats on Barry multiple times throughout the show with no hesitation. And he's like, alright, I need to save my own ass. Let's rat on Barry. And it's just like, it's kind of messed up. Because whether it be the police, or the mafia, or whoever it may be, he'll go through all this effort to rat on him, and get him in trouble, and save his own ass. And then when it comes down to it, every single time, when it comes down to the moment where he needs to actually turn Barry in, or follow through to save his own ass, he just flip-flops, because he feels bad for Barry if Barry says one word to him. It's very weird the way it's written. Personally, I wasn't a fan. And if nothing that I just said makes sense, you have to watch the show for it to really make sense. But he just flip-flops his character quite often, and I don't like it. He's just wish-washy on the side that he's on. Especially in the last season, like, gee, he's like know how to describe it. He's literally a different man in that season. NoHo Hank.
Man, you must be Barry. I'm NoHo Hank. Trust of Life was good, no?
Best character in the show. By far. It's not really even close. Every time this character... It's played by Anthony Carrigan, by the way. I think it's pronounced Carrigan. Every time he is on camera, he steals the show from every single person that's there. The show starts with you thinking that he's like one of these really bad people. And I mean, he is. Don't get me wrong, he is a bad guy. But so is Barry. So it's not really, it's not really fair, because he instantly turns into one of my favorite characters. His mood honestly sets whatever scene that he's in. It could be super slow and like depressing, or everyone's sad, and then it'll just pan over, and NoHo Hank will be over in the corner, hanging out. And on the contrary, the scene could be going really well, and then Hank will walk in the room without a smile on his face, and it'll be like, wait. Whoa, what's happening? This is not right. Just absolute great character, and my personal favorite on the show by far. And last, but certainly not least, we've got Barry. Now, I wanna like Barry as a character. In fact, I think I do. Bill Hader is obviously great as Barry. He's great in the role. I always forget that he's more than just funny. He's actually like a really good, talented actor. But Barry himself seems a bit all over the place. And by that, I mean he seems to get progressively stupider as the show goes on, for some reason. Like, he's not like Einstein at any point throughout the show, but he definitely detaches himself from, like, the idea of killing altogether. Like, he literally begins to view it as his only option in some situations. Like, oh, I have to kill this person. He puts other people's lives behind him being free from prison, and that's, I don't think, good. It's really weird. It's like he's like a sympathetic villain. Like, he feels bad for what he's doing, but he does it anyway. He'll still do it. He's good with it. He's fine. He like has these feelings, and he does care about the people around him, but when it actually comes down to it, he will put himself first every day of the week. The few parts of the show that I wasn't like a huge fan of were just, simply, honestly, the first 2 seasons, really good. Absolutely fantastic. I didn't really have any complaints with the first 2 seasons. It was once it got to season 3 that I felt stuff started to shift a bit. It was still like really good, don't get me wrong, but at this point, I feel like the show starts becoming more serious than it is funny. That could be a good or a bad thing, depending on who you ask. It is good, but the show just gets dark. Like even more so than it already was. At least before, when something dark was happening, it would be accompanied by, some jokes that actually, landed really well. But season 3 and 4, there's some jokes in there, but they definitely don't hit. like the other seasons. And then another small complaint I had was, again, spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen it. About halfway through season 4, there's an 8-year time jump. And when this happens, it feels so abrupt to me. Like, maybe I am a complete moron, but I thought it was some kind of like dream sequence or his imagination or something when it was happening. But no, it's just that was happening in the show. I didn't realize that it was actually a thing in the show until it continued. It just didn't end. It just kept going within that time frame. And I was just like, oh, wow, that really just happened. Whoa. But yeah, really good show overall. If you haven't seen Barry, I hope I just gave you a new show that you can binge. The episodes actually feel really quick compared to most shows, because they're only like 25 to 30 minutes an episode. Most shows are like an hour, you know, so it feels like you're just watching it really quick, and there's only 8 episodes a season, so it does go quick. And if you have seen the show, hopefully you think I did it some justice in this video.